Okay, here's my Kaa-4-1 Keystoker boiler. Just got it in service yesterday. Give you a little tour here. Right now it's pushing close to 190 degrees. I have the wood stove going, so there's not a lot of calls for heat. Just doing the domestic hot water. You can see on the aquastat here 188. Right now I have my high set for 180 and my low 150, and my second high limit, which I have mounted on top, is set for 200, and that might kick on relatively soon. Since there's not a lot of calls for heat, it's pretty much just running off the timer. And right here I have, I think it's 7 pins 15 minutes apart, and I'm still going to have to adjust that. I'm just slowly getting things tuned in. I'll show you the fire. Very small right now, but still keeping the boiler plenty hot even at that level for the domestic hot water. So far I probably burned about 200 pounds or so. I had an issue yesterday where it wasn't heating up on my initial fire up, and what I found was it broke in half now, but it's about the size of a bacon potato, and it was clogging up the throat. Then I dumped another bag in today. There are some really big pieces of coal I threw in the wood stove, but I think this is a piece of slate or something. So there's a lot of big stuff in here that's kind of causing me grief. I'm gonna have to pay attention to. We'll talk about the plumbing I made. Here on the right is the bypass valve, and I have a 1-inch copper going down to the bottom inlet. This right here is the 1.25 T, 1.25 out on the left, 1 inch on the right. From there we go over here to the flow check, and then behind that is my expansion tank with the air eliminator, and then the 1.25 pipe comes back here and tees up into my, ignore that switch by the way, it's dead, I just haven't removed it, tees into the gravity fed loop on the house, which is, I believe it's 2-inch cast iron, and runs the perimeter. And then on the return side, same thing, tee off of the loop, come down, isolation valve above, circulator, isolation valve below the circulator, and then from here go down on the back. If you can see, there's the inlet, and then this is the bypass loop right there. I do have a bucket under here because I have a union that is leaking, and no matter how much I tighten it still leaks, so I'm going to have to address that here soon. But here's my domestic hot water. I have 4-inch brass nipples coming off, recommend 6, but I just didn't have the room, and to be honest with you, I'm probably going to have to go down to 2-inch brass nipples when I remove the coil next, because the directions called for 18 inches of clearance in the rear, which is ridiculously small, and there's no way you can get the domestic coil out with 18 inches of clearance. Fortunately, I did probably about 28 or so, 24, 28, and with those nipples on there, and then the other 3 inches for the elbows here, it's extremely difficult to get out. So make sure you have enough clearance in the back if you're looking at installing one of these. From there, if we can see here, I have a Honeywell mixing valve coming off the domestic. From there it goes out and converts over to PEX, and then here is the automatic fill valve. I got a swinging check valve on the back, and then a manual ball valve to kill it off. Here is my stovepipe. I got T on the bottom with the cover I can pull off for fly ash. Comes up 2 feet, goes into a 90, then another 2 foot section, which I cut a hole for the damper assembly in. And then here's the crock. That's a 10-inch crock. I had used almost a full gallon of furnace cement to seal it off. So that's pretty much the grand tour here. I do have the option of the oil gun, which I have in the basement down here. I just have not hooked it up, and I probably won't hook it up this winter unless we travel. That's really the only time I can foresee using it. Even with oil being 220 a gallon here where I live, it's still a heck of a lot cheaper to be burning the coal, which you can get for $2.10 a ton. I suppose that's about it. We'll just talk about the stoker real quick. Right now I have the nut 5 turns out. I'm still fine-tuning that. I might be coming out further. And the blower motor intake is about half covered. So that's it. I'm sure we'll make some more adjustments once we kind of get into the middle of winter. But thanks everyone for helping me out installing this, giving me some advice. I really appreciate it. And so far I'm very happy with this boiler. Thank you.